I actually got my start with apple cider. I would see all of these old apple orchards that were abandoned, slated to be raised for housing development. And I just thought, what a waste. And look at all those apples that are just going to fall on the ground and just go to waste. So I asked, no, I didn't ask permission. I just went out there with a shovel because I didn't know who the hell the landowner was and I didn't really care. And I figured somebody would yell at me if they didn't want me. But I couldn't imagine them not wanting me to take their apples because they clearly didn't want them. I figured it was my God-given right to go out there and glean those apples. So I knocked down all the briars and I went out with an old pickup truck and started picking all these apples. And at the time there was an old cider mill over in the valley. All these farmers would show up and they'd all be, spinning tales about this, that, and the other thing and complaining about the government here or, or whatever, bitching about this, that, and the other thing. And, but it was great because it was a real sense of community. Old building in the middle of a cornfield and saw these horse and buggies parked around it and all these women in their bonnets and their dresses and men with their hats and their suspenders. My jaw just started hitting the floor when I saw all of this beautiful produce on all of these little carts. When I first showed up, they didn't know me from any other person who was buying. I got to know them and they got to know me. A relationship started to be formed, and the first year as having Horse and Buggy, formerly Horse and Buggy, I became their biggest buyer by far. Horse and Buggy purchases represented about 25% of their total sales. And I think they sold in excess of $1 million worth of produce that year. So we were responsible for $250,000 worth of produce. So they took notice right away. And they started asking Brett questions and what Brett wanted. And, so that is continued to this day. I mean, they still are very interested in what Brett wants and what Horse and Buggy wants. I'd always had farming in my background and was living on a farm out in Keswick and growing tomatoes and a variety of things, and just as a hobby bringing them to restaurants in town, bringing them to chefs, and I couldn't keep up with demand. Eventually a farmer told me about a community of Mennonite farmers over in the valley who were just starting to make their produce available to the public at large. So Horse and Buggy Produce is a local foods cooperative / CSA. CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture. We buy directly from local farmers and then distribute it. I think I had 300 subscribers my first year in 2006, and we had almost 1,200 subscribers last year. So it's kind of taken off.
There are fresh lima beans if everybody likes lima beans.
I have a lot of energy. I'm used to hard work. I basically just sort of went, oh, I have this lemonade stand. And I, was getting 4 hours of sleep a night and working 7 days a week, but loving it. People were so receptive. And I knew everybody's names, and I knew their spouses' names, and I knew their kids' names, and I knew their dogs' names, and, I knew everybody's names, and, I had that relationship.
George, how are you? Good to see you, man. Kate, right? I saw that Stacy moved. Hey, Trisha. Hi, guys.
As the business has grown, I've had to learn to let go of a lot of things, and it has troubled me immensely that not only do I not know some of my customers' names, I don't know their faces.
I don't know who they are. You know who it is?
It has been pleasurable and sometimes painful as I have grown, as the company has grown, in that I've lost some of the intimacy for myself personally, but I've also gain some freedom so that I can actually eat lunch, which, you know, last year I got tearful as I talked to the staff. I said, thank you so much, I'm getting to eat lunch.
Have you guys counted all those peppers yet? Okay, good. So, as I recall, there were 50 some odd, 59, no, it's 53. It's on that clipboard. Here we are at Lovely Keswick. Our delivering beautiful local produce. The strapping young man you're talking to, can he move it? Does he work here? You're gonna move it. Who's moving it? She's gonna move it. Thank you. Bring the truck, and you're not getting anything. That's the irony. I asked Brooks, you want broccoli? No, they want broccoli. I said, you want peppers? No, they don't want peppers.
He will find a box, like a refrigerator came in. It'll be like, he'll bring it in. I'm like,
The truckload.
something. It'll be like, it'll be a box this big. And he's like, I'm like, what the hell is this? He's like, you asked me for a case. Yeah, like refrigerator boxes, TV boxes. I like a case of tomatoes. 800 pounds of tomatoes in one thing. I'm thinking my invoice is going to be 200. It's like 1,500 to 10,000. He's laughing as he's leaving. Craig is don't air this, whatever you do.
It's all true.
Don't try. No, it's not break the stem. They're working to break the stem, right? Because nobody wants a stemless pumpkin. Lamar, grab a couple of gallons of cider up there near the cab, and you can taste it. What? Oh, what?
If he has it on the truck, we'll buy it. But today he brought nothing. So.
The best part about Brett is we tell him everything that we want, and then he brings us everything else.
Yeah.
He thinks we want.
Twice the amount of what they said they wanted.
We need bread for breakfast. Can I taste this apple cider? It's okay. I'm just kidding. No, it's not bad. It's not that great. Don't feel me.
Where is it? Oh, there's the last one.
Curtis, taste the cider. Compared to the one we get, the other one,
You just
it's
love
like
it.
apple juice.
You love it, don't you? You love just
It's like a wine tasting. You get the
But you've already had the apple, so it might affect your palate.
It's pretty banging.
It's pretty banging.
It's like
Did you hear that, Amor?
It's like malt apple juice.
It's such.
Let it sit
Give
for
me
a couple
your
months.
best dessert. I want your best dessert. I'm going. Oh, this tastes like. I could get this at like
Tastes like
Applebee's.
chocolate.
Applebee's.
I'm just kidding. It tastes
Cool. Don't start complimenting me. I think you like me.
You see, you can never win with this guy.
Okay.
I grew up just eating really fresh, good food, and then I think that more people ought to have those kind of aha or wow moments where they're thoroughly impressed and surprised how good food can really taste. We certainly weren't immune to the fear and the reality associated with the recession. You know, they say that the new success is surviving, and so we're, I guess, therefore successful this year. And people talk to me about franchising the business, and it's not all that appealing. If I can just focus on what we have here and making this run really smoothly, yeah, maybe I'll think about it in the future. But for right now, I've got my hands pretty full. Just making sure that the right squash goes to the right drop spot, and the right tomatoes go to another drop spot, and that, you know, there's enough to keep me busy.
There you go.
My favorite vegetable? I like a good, really acidic, burn my lips tomato. But yeah, there are just so many things I've been exposed to that I just love. You're not going to pin me down. As far as vegetables go, it's like, yeah, I like spinach, man. It's spinach season, and I like corn when it's corn season, tomatoes and lima beans. I love lima beans. You know. certain green beans I love, yeah, and sugar snap peas. I mean, just so it's, you know, napa cabbage. It's all good. I mean,